Hi friends, today we have to discuss about neurons. Everything we think, feel or do has an important basis in biological process and events. Everything psychological has a biological basis. For an example, how did informations from your ear get inside and trigger your emotions and behavior? The answer is neurons. Neurons are the cells specialized for communicating informations and the basic building blocks of the nervous system. Neurons are tremendously varied in their appearance, yet most consist of three basic parts. One is the cell body and an axon and one or more dendrites. Dendrites are the parts of the neurons that conduct action potentials towards the cell body, and the axon is the part of the neurons that conducts the action potential away from the cell body. And there is a glial cells. It's a cells in the nervous system that surround, support and protect our neurons. In many neurons, the axon is covered by a sheath of fatty material known as myelin. The myelin sheath is interrupted by small gaps, and the both sheath and gap in it play an important role in the neuron's ability to transmit the informations. In disease such as multiple sclerosis, the progressive deterioration of this myelin sheath leads to jerky, uncoordinated movement in the affected person. The neurons are classified according to their anatomy and their functions. According to their function, they are classified into sensory and motor neurons, and according to their anatomy, they are classified into unipolar, bipolar, multipolar, and pseudo-unipolar neurons. Unipolar neurons are the single processed neurons, and bipolar neurons are the neurons having one axon and one dendrites only. Multipolar neurons are the neurons having one axon and two or more dendrites. And pseudo-unipolar neurons are the neurons that contains an axon that has split into two branches. One travel into peripheral nervous system and another travel into central nervous system. Neural impulse or the messages travel from the direction of one dendrites of a one neuron to their nucleus and to their axons and terminal buds, and finally they reach into synaptic cleft or gap, and there will be a neurotransmitter action is occurred. The receptors of other neurons receiving the messages and pass the messages to dendrite of other neuron. Neurotransmitters are the chemicals released by neurons that carry information across synapses. The fact that transmitter substances produce either excitatory or inhibitory effects might seem to suggest that there are only two types. In fact, many drugs produce their effect in this way. Neurons communicate with one another across the synapses through these neurotransmitters. Several of these are listed and described here. Neurotransmitters are the molecules used by the nervous system to transmit messages between neurons or from the neurons to muscles and glands. There are three major neurons according to their functions: excitatory, inhibitory, and modulatory neurotransmitters. Excitatory neurotransmitters promotes the generation of an electrical signal that is called as an action potential, and inhibitory neurotransmitters prevent that action potential. Neuromodulators are not restricted to the synaptic cleft between two neurons. It affects large numbers of neurons at once. It regulates populations of the neurons and operating over a slow time course than excitatory and inhibitory neurotransmitters. The major neurotransmitters are classified into amino acids, monoamines, or peptide and other neurotransmitters. The major amino acid neurotransmitters are glutamate, GABA, glycine, etc. And major monoamine neurotransmitters are dopamine, noradrenaline, adrenaline, histamine, serotonin, etc. And other peptide and other neurotransmitters are oxytocin, somatostatin, substance P, cocaine, amphetamine, opioid peptides, etc. The full form of GABA is gamma aminobutyric acid. It found throughout the brain and the spinal cord. GABA is the major inhibitory neurotransmitter in the brain. Abnormal level of GABA has been implicated in sleep and eating disorders. It regulating our anxiety, vision, motor control. It increases feelings of relaxation and calm, and it also causes irritability and restlessness. Glutamate is most plentiful neurotransmitter found in the nervous system. It plays a key role in our cognitive functions such as memory, learning, etc. The excessive amounts of glutamate can cause excitotoxicity resulting in cellular death. It is associated with some diseases and brain injuries including Alzheimer's, stroke, epilepsy, seizure, etc. Epinephrine. The another name of epinephrine is adrenaline. Epinephrine is considered both a hormone and a neurotransmitter. And adrenaline is a stress hormone that is released by the adrenal system. It functions as a neurotransmitter in our brain. Norepinephrine found in neurons in the autonomic nervous system. Primarily, it involves in control or alertness and wakefulness. It helps mobilize the body and brain to take action in times of danger or stress. The level of these neurotransmitters are lowest during our sleep, and the level will be highest during the times of stress. Dopamine produced by the neurons located in a region of the brain called as substantia nigra. It involves in movements, attention and learning. Degeneration of dopamine producing neurons has been linked to Parkinson's disease. Too much dopamine has been linked to schizophrenia. It leads to pleasure involved in rewards, motivation and addiction effects. It have a key role in our body movements and coordinations, memory and behavior. Serotonin found in neuron in the brain and spinal cord. It plays a key role in the regulation of mood and in the control of eating, sleeping and the arousals like appetite, sexuality, etc. It has also been implicated in the regulation of pain and in dreaming. Acetylcholine found throughout the central nervous system, in the autonomic nervous system and at all neuromuscular junctions. It involved in muscle action, learning and memory. It is a primary neurotransmitter associated with motor neurons. It stimulates some hormones and controls the heartbeats. This can lead to seizure, spasms and other health issues. I hope you will enjoy this session and thank you. And also awaiting for your feedbacks and comments.